you guys doing back here with no reaction? Oh, reacting to SCP-054 Water Nymph. I think that's what you say. SCP animation, but you already know you're truly Dr. Bob. Always fire. I know. I've been wanting to react more Dr. Bob lately. I know. I like his storytelling. And then the way he explained the SCP after that. I like it. I really do. And every time I go, I'll tell you, I pick my videos. Let me just show you right now. That's how I pick my video. I click on YouTube, and the first thing that pops up, there's an SCP I react to it. See, this one popped up, but I'm not reacting to that one. I at least want to give it like one day before I react to something that's like almost newer, so to give more support for the creator. But this one popped up. We're gonna react to it. We're gonna see how it is. I do not know this SCP, and the thumbnail been looking. It's right here. Been looking kinda, you know, tempting if I say so myself. Let me get started. I want this to be too long. I have to do stuff later. Alright.
Who are you talking to? The young boy spins around, surprised to find his father standing behind him. The boy seems nervous and hesitant to answer, but after being asked again, he admits to his father that he was talking to the lady in the fountain.
Okay.
The boy's father is confused.
What are you doing? You can't just say that out of nowhere. If let's say your son is like in front of a fountain, like from your house, and he's been there for like minutes, and then you come up to him and all that, he seems wavy, he seems, you know, like nervous and all that, and then he finally tells you, I've been talking to the fountain lady. And what kid? Who? That's not my son.
Lady in the fountain. That's right. The boy explains that she is nice, just like Mom. He thinks the woman in the fountain may even be his mom. The father sighs. He takes the boy's hand and leads him back inside the house, where the father is hosting a small get-together.
Is he gonna see her?
One of the father's guests asks if things are okay, and he tells her that everything is fine. He's just worried about his son. It has been a very difficult year following the death of his wife. He tells her that he's afraid he might be developing behavioral issues.
That is really hard and tough when, let's say, one of your loved ones, especially, let's say, your mom, that's the way, like, that's hard to get away from. Watches the boy
staring out the window at the fountain in their backyard. Later that week in school, the children are supposed to be drawing pictures of their families. The teacher moves from child to child, checking on their progress, and stops at the boy. She wants to know what he's working on. The boy explains that it is a drawing of him, his dad, and his mom who lives in the fountain. The teacher doesn't understand. His mom lives in the fountain? That's right, the boy tells her. The fountain in their backyard was her favorite place in the whole world. His mother had told him that it was a magical place and was the reason they bought the house. After she died, he heard a voice coming from the fountain. It doesn't sound like his mom, but he knows it's her. She lives in the fountain now. The father thanks the teacher for calling and promises that he'll talk to his son. He's very sorry that the other children are frightened by the stories about a woman in their fountain, and he's going to make sure this whole business comes to an end for good. That night,
I want to see the SCP. I want to see how it is, though.
He tells him that he knows he misses his mom, but he needs to stop with all of these claims about a woman in the fountain. And as much as he misses her and wishes that his mother would come back, he needs to realize that she's gone and not coming back. The father kisses the boy on the forehead and tells him one more time that there will be no more stories about the woman before tucking him in for the night. As soon as his father is gone, though, the boy gets out of bed, creeps to his bedroom window that looks down on their backyard, and stares at the fountain. He watches as reflections dance on the rippling water. The water goes oddly still, until a hand that appears to be made out of water seems to emerge out of the surface of the fountain and waves at him.
Like, what you guys do? What you guys will do?
And glances in to check on his son before heading back to his bedroom. He bolts upright when it dawns on him that his son wasn't in bed.
And the window's open?
He runs into the son's room and pulls the blankets off the bed, but no one is there. He frantically calls for his son and looks around the room when he sees...
I feel like he's gonna see that water thing take the son away.
Something. He hurries to the window where he watches as his son walks towards the fountain. But what really has his attention is the woman, translucent and shining under the moonlight, beckoning to the boy.
Now you do believe him, I guess. Like what you do?
Downstairs and out into the backyard, where his son is in an embrace with the watery woman.
Is that actually? I don't feel like that's actually the mom, but is that actually the mom?
Terrified, but his fatherly instincts take over and he sprints to the fountain and rips the boy away from the creature. As he pulls the boy back from the fountain, He watches as the solid, watery figure of the woman appears to turn back into a liquid and collapse into the fountain.
It doesn't look bad, SCP, but at the same time, it could be bad. SCP, like, really bad. Not that, you know, like, she's bad, but I'm talking about, like, she could be bad, like, evil and all that, but so far, it doesn't look like
brings
it.
the boy inside the house.
Now you know, yeah.
What's going on.
Now he's gonna be mad confused.
He's safe now. The next day, the father is on the phone with their local priest. He knows how crazy this sounds, but the police didn't believe him, and he didn't know where else to turn. The priest tells him not to worry, that he will be there soon to take care of it. The priest arrives at the house with 2 assistants.
Those are foundation members.
That it would be best if he and his son leave.
I feel like those are foundation members.
The boy is crying, pleading with them not to hurt the nice woman in the fountain. The father has to struggle to restrain his son, but eventually is able to get him out of the house. Once they're gone, the priest turns to his assistants. He takes off his shirt to reveal a tactical vest.
Yeah, well that's it. Those are foundation members.
Emblazoned with the SCP.
Yeah, I like the storytelling. It's fire. I like it.
Time for containment, he says, as they head out into the backyard towards the fountain and the anomalous creature that lives there. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob.
Let's see.
And this is SCP-054. Also known as
I just want to know, like,
the water nymph.
Is it evil?
SCP-054 is the designation that the SCP Foundation has given to an anomalous entity with some very strange properties. Made up of 9 liters of what appears to be completely normal spring water, SCP-054 most often appears in the form of a female humanoid, but it is capable of a variety of forms, such as other humanoids and simple geometric shapes. It is unknown just how it is capable of taking and holding these shapes, or how it moves around once it does so, since all tests performed so far have failed to show any thermal, electromagnetic, biological, or other phenomenon present in its body that could explain its abilities. Whenever SCP-054 enters a body of water, it will become indistinguishable from the surrounding water, and it appears that it must fully submerge itself on occasion in order to replenish its full volume, which is constantly being reduced through normal evaporation. Water that has evaporated off of the anomaly has also been collected by the Foundation, and it too is indiscernible from regular water.
The same thing. Okay, we get that. We get that. So like, I'm confused. So it's 100% water, the same thing, all that. That's what it says and all that. So that thing, the water is pretty much the anomaly, the fountain, all that, where she is and all that. But like, I'm confused. Like, for me, it doesn't look too bad, this SCP, but like, wow. I know this SCP, if it's not evil and all that, it's feeling really bad. The guy's feet taken away. But hey, I'm just saying.
After its discovery, SCP-054 was moved to Site-08 for containment, where additional research and study of the creature could take place. Its special.
But I have to look more to, like, for me to say what I think with it. It's either save Euclid or Catter. I don't think it's Catter.
The containment cell was made watertight and equipped with a specialized climate control system, as well as an ornate fountain filled with fresh spring water. Surprisingly, the entity seemed to enjoy its new home and appeared happy to interact with Foundation researchers, guards, and maintenance staff, frequently mimicking their forms often in a playful manner. While at first, 054 would retreat back into its fountain when it wasn't interacting with staff, as time went on, it seemed to grow more and more comfortable, and eventually came to spend almost all of its time outside of the water. Though it would still always return back to the safety of the fountain and disappear into the water when attempts were made to extract samples directly from its body.
This is
avoided having its water drawn.
It's safe,
it was through a variety of different tests by SCP researcher Dr. Seskel that much of the Foundation's knowledge of SCP-054 was gained. Though whether the methods researchers used to acquire this information were appropriate is up to you to decide. In a test dubbed the water loss experiment.
Alright, now I see this is how we're gonna do experiment. Like, we're gonna torture the SCP, I guess. I kinda like, sometimes, some people we take it, like, when you take a chill pill and all that, like, it's not killing and all that. I kinda like reacting some safe SCPs and all that and what it does. It gives me more information, like, SCP-wise and everything.
SCP-054 was denied access to water.
Come on.
As a result, its shape changed, with 054 becoming more compact, most likely in order to reduce its surface area as much as possible and reduce the rate of evaporation that occurred.
Come on.
For the first few days after access to water was removed, it would happily greet anyone who entered its containment cell, which may indicate that it was attempting to charm staff into providing water. When after a few days, its water supply
I tell you, like, come on, we don't have to torture like this.
was still not turned on, it stopped acting especially cheery, perhaps realizing that its happy disposition was doing nothing to advance its cause. In an extreme temperature test, researchers were authorized to experiment with subjecting SCP-054 to temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. The entity became more and more lethargic as the temperature in the testing area was lowered, and eventually froze completely. Ice chips were collected for study, but analysis revealed no abnormalities or differences from standard water. The opposite test was also performed, and the temperature was raised to 95 degrees Celsius, just shy
it was like, you know, let's people go life and everything, and, you know, foundation what, like, happens. This is what humans would be doing and everything.
100-degree boiling point of water.
And then watch it like most of the people that was considered safe or like stuff like that, let's say maybe Euclid that they have contained, it was like friendly. Most of them become evil because of these stuff.
As the temperature approached the upper threshold at which water can remain a liquid, and it attempted to escape the testing enclosure. Researchers noticed that following this test, the entity became increasingly resistant to being moved from its containment cell to the testing area, likely fearing that the researchers intended to do it harm. SCP-054's memory was tested as well, and it proved very skilled at solving puzzles and navigating mazes.
That's cool.
Researchers initially had an issue with motivating 054 to participate, but Dr. Seskel discovered that the anomaly was quite responsive to the use of electrical shocks. The researchers would often push 054 too hard in these tests, though, and soon found that they would need to give it a 48-hour rest period between any strenuous experiments. The final test performed was meant to gain some insight into how SCP-054 maintains its form, by seeing how it reacted to a hydrochloric acid solution. It unsurprisingly resisted this test, and the temperature in the testing area was lowered to just above freezing in order to try and control its behavior. This did not prove to be enough, though. SCP-054 fought back against Dr. Seskel and his research assistant, seriously injuring both of them and necessitating a halt to the test. In fact, all testing on SCP-054 was stopped following this incident, as it appeared to develop an extreme mistrust of males, who made up the majority of the staff who had been performing the tests. Following this attack on the Foundation staff, SCP-054 was classified as Euclid. However, once the test ceased and 054 no longer had to come in contact with the research staff who were in charge of the experiments, there was a span of over 5 years without any further incidents. Following this period, SCP-054's rating was downgraded to safe.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just some of this me, yo. They need to let me, you know what I mean?
Once again, though now all tests fall under the purview of Biology Unit E7, and the use of only female personnel is recommended. Though classified as safe, caution must still be maintained when working with SCP-054. Maintenance personnel are required to wear chemical suits when working inside the containment area, and must spend 10 minutes in a special drying room once they exit, to ensure that 054 has not somehow managed to cling to any part of them. In the event of a containment breach, the entire enclosure is to be flushed with liquid nitrogen to freeze the entity. Is the water nymph an example of the SCP Foundation going too far, containing a harmless anomaly who appears happy and benign until harm is done to it? Or is this simply the price we must pay in order to further our knowledge of anomalies and potentially stop a dangerous threat to humanity? The answer to that question is up to you. To further
that was
your own
cool.
knowledge of anomalies
Let's see. Dr. Ball always has something in the end, you know, like with him doing something. That's what it is.
The SCP Foundation has in containment, and potentially find the answer to that question, I recommend you watch the files for SCP-007, Abdominal Planet, and SCP-163, an old castaway. And as always, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single anomaly. As we
technically, you know, he's swimming in, you know, I'm just saying he's swimming in there, man. Alright, that's enough. You guys already know. Some of I wasn't reacting too much, friends. Stop stuttering. So if I wasn't reacting too much, I was just into it. But you guys already know. The video ended. I had to conclude my video too. Guys, hit the subscribe button. We are doing road to 5,000 subscribers. We're almost halfway there. Thanks to you guys. Hit the like button too, support me even more. Turn the bell notification on so you can become an early again, which means you can be in the comment section first, which means you can tell me, which brings me to the comment section. But stop stuttering. This would be great. You can tell me games to play. It does not have to be a Roblox game. You can tell me video to react to, but please link the video in the comment section. It's really easy for me. Fine. Or could even be like, how you doing? I will always try to reply back to you guys. And yeah, pretty much it. It's your boy Frame. Out.